Our next guest is our official representative for the government of Pakistan here in Canada. And I myself have been amazed at the level of interaction, support, and leadership this gentleman demonstrates for helping integrate Canadian Pakistanis in Canada here and for the Canadian initiatives in Pakistan. So would you guys please put your hands together and help me welcome the Consul General of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Siddiqui. Sir, would you come up and give us a few words?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, and a very good morning to you all. I apologize for being late, but it is not, I can blame it to the traffic, but it was not traffic today. It was there was some mismanagement in the communication. In any case, thank you very much for inviting me, and I welcome all the guests who have come from Pakistan to showcase the progress that has been achieved in the KP province of Pakistan. It is indeed remarkable. As you all are aware that, last week, Federal Minister for Commerce and Textile visited Canada at the invitation of his Canadian counterpart. I had the honor of being present in some of his meetings over here in Toronto. And one thing which came out, it was, an important takeaway for us as well, was a remark by one of our interlocutors, the provincial minister for trade. He said that, there are distances between Canada and the world in Asia and across Pacific and across Atlantic. And it restricts Canadian business and trade with the world that is far away from Canada, Canadian shores. And that is why our focus is on our southern neighbors in NAFTA. But he at the same time remarked, and we fully subscribe to his view, that we have to find out new plans, extraordinary plans where we can interact and where we can, trade and have business. And IT sector is one of such plans, and we fully agree with him that it is here where distance do not matter, and we can easily do business, expand our trade, and help our respective societies and economies by promoting interaction between people to people, people in Canada, business people in Canada, and business people in Pakistan, as well as helping achieve sustainable development goals, which were, if you see this employment thing, that is a cross-cutting issue in that document. So we can help in achieving in the government's efforts, in the provincial government's efforts in Pakistan to achieve all such objectives which have been outlined in the, in that document, Sustainable Development Goals, by promoting business, by creating new opportunities for employment, particularly for our young people. There are several reasons for us to believe that IT is the plane that we must explore and expand. First of all, some of the points have been mentioned, but I will, at the expense of repeating them, will reiterate, some of the points which were mentioned earlier by two very capable speakers before me. Pakistan has been ranked as number 4 for freelance development in the world. Pakistan's IT exports have increased by 70% during the last 3 years. With its over 200 million population, 60% of which in the age of 15 to 29, Pakistan represents an enormous human and knowledge capital potential. Pakistan has more than 2,000 IT companies and call centers, and the number is growing each other. Pakistan is already the 3rd largest provider of workers to online freelancing platforms. The number of English-speaking IT professionals goes beyond 300,000, with high qualification in current and emerging IT products and technologies. With over 14 software technology parks, the country produces over 20,000 IT graduates and engineers every year. The total revenue of Pakistan's IT industry is nearing $3 billion. The government of Pakistan continues to facilitate the IT industry through numerous sustainable development and accelerated digitization projects, research and innovation, software and technology parks, subsidized bandwidth, international marketing, international certifications, internships and trainings. There are other areas which are as relevant to IT business environment, and the federal government of Pakistan and all the provincial governments have made significant progress in these areas too. First, Pakistan today can rightfully claim that after thousands of sacrifices, it has overcome security issues in the country. Now, someone mentioned about the issue of perception. It is an important point. Perceptions are not reality, but perceptions do matter. So how do we fight with a negative perception about Pakistan and the investment environment and the business environment in Pakistan? It's a challenge, but we can easily overcome this challenge by interacting, kind of intensifying our interaction with the economies where this perception is deliberately promoted by some elements. The problem with North America is this: when people come for exploration of technological landscape and the business landscape, they usually stop at the United States. They do not come to Canada. That's why we find we recently started a Pakistan-Canada research council. The idea was to connect universities and the research institutions in both countries. And I found out a number of very well-decorated and qualified researchers, scientists all around Canada, in each province of Canada, in each university of Pakistan origin, Canadians. And all these experts are very much willing to enter into some kind of collaboration with Pakistani institutions. We have been able to, but the problem is this, that they mentioned, lack of information, less frequent contacts with the education institutions in Pakistan, at least not as intensive and extensive as we have with the United States universities and research institutions. So there is a need that we promote that kind of linkages and connections, between Pakistan and Canada, between research and scientific institutions, because you have to promote your abilities and capabilities and capacities, what you can do for Canada. If you talk to businesses over here, they would, and even the institutions which are not into business, which are government institutions, which are helping other countries in various fields, when you talk to them, they would certainly ask you to tell them or brief them on the things on which you can help them with, or how can this cooperation or business collaboration would be mutually beneficial. So we have to showcase this to them, and this is a commendable effort that you are doing over here of showcasing. And a lot depends on Pakistan community, Pakistan origin Canadians in GTA particularly, where we say that there are around 300,000 Pakistanis are operating in different fields. There are students, there are researchers, there are businesses, etc. The thing is this, this is their responsibility also to showcase to their Canadian counterparts as to what we have achieved in Pakistan, and the challenges that we faced in recent past, and how, you must have seen an article about the resilience of Pakistan written by one of a very prominent US journalist. And there is a book also, Pakistan, a Hard Country to Crack. So the challenges that we have faced, if some other, the similar challenges were faced by other countries, and the grit and strength and resilience that we have shown, I am not boasting about my country, but I would say that it is thus far matchless. The challenges, internal challenges and the external challenges we are still facing, and we are coping with them very well. This all has to be showcased to the world. Interaction is one, physical interaction is one area that we can explore, with the help of the Canadian government, to see as to how can we, address immigration issues, and how can we increase interaction between businesses. But at the same time, we have this social media. We have, again, IT plane, where there is no bar to reach anyone in the world. So this interaction that you are, doing today over here should not end here. You should continue, talking to your counterparts in Canada through different channels, using IT, using internet, using broad bandwidth, which we so eagerly flaunt everywhere. So this interaction should not stop, and we should not only think about physical interaction. We must use, and it is a good advice given by the Canadian businesses to us as well, that we must use social media to promote the true image of Pakistan in societies, in economies, in countries where it is being distorted. Secondly, Pakistan's economy has experienced a remarkable turnaround. Since 2013 and 14, the economy has witnessed a smooth upward trend in growth rate. Real GDP has smoothly increased during the last 4 years to reach 5.5% in 2016 and 17, the highest in a decade. Thirdly, it is widely acknowledged that Pakistan has immense economic potential. PricewaterhouseCoopers projected that Pakistan will emerge as the world's 20th largest economy by 2030 and the 16th largest by 2050. Fourthly, because of the successful implementation of key short-term reform measures, Pakistan's ranking in the World Bank's ease of doing business has improved. It has been mentioned by the speakers before me. Fifthly, Pakistan has undergone a digital transformation, and this seminar is basically a manifestation of that. And sixthly, provinces are adopting progressive investment policies with the emphasis on special economic zones. And the representatives of KP government just mentioned it as such. So at the end, I wish you a very productive stay here, and I hope that you would be able to have more such interactions in not very far future, in near future. And I also hope that you would use all the instruments that we have at the consulate as a diplomatic mission over here at our disposal to promote the good thing that you want to promote about the economy of Khyber Pakhtoon province of Pakistan. We are at your disposal. Any information that you want to get from us, please do not hesitate to contact us. Anyone you want to have any background check by us, please ask us to do that and have more of such interaction. I mean, we can arrange webinars for you in collaboration with any interested organization, open and other business organization. If they want to do something in collaboration with you, we would be very happy to organize web space for you where you can promote activities that you are doing, good deeds, good things that you are doing, and which the Canadians must know. Plus, the Canada-Pakistan Research Council is at your disposal. Some of the professors who are the PhDs from McGill, from Canada at UET Peshawar are also engaged with it, and they are doing whatever they can. I would be very happy to share their contact details with you, and I hope that they would be co-opted in further promoting our common objective, and that is the growth and progress of our economy everywhere, in provinces as well as in federal level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's very heartening to hear the leadership of your country talking about this initiative with strong conviction. And I think we'll all agree that we've got the World Bank here today. We've got the Pakistani federal government represented. We've got the KP government represented. We've got the Ontario government represented, and we've got business represented. So would we say we are well on our way to shattering that perception problem that Pakistan has? I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to open up the floor for questions, and I would suggest that Todd, would you as well, and Shabazz, perhaps people have questions for both of you, and if you'll entertain those questions, that would be great. And I would just suggest we have some time. We have about half an hour before we break for lunch. And when you ask your questions, please feel free to share a little bit about your company, what you see, the vision in terms of how this initiative could support your company. And some of you here are, I know, centers of influence which may not have your own business concern, but may know of other companies who would fit well for this initiative. So if Shabazz, would you and Todd come up, and we'll let people ask the questions.
Assalamu alaikum. First off, great job, guys. I don't know how many people are from here, KPK over here. I am from Peshawar. Perfect. So we have good representation. So I'm from Peshawar. I spent half a year there, and I'm also involved in IT over there. So great job, you guys. You guys are targeting the right points. So hats off on that. So I myself, Sammy, I've got about 40 employees in KPK in Peshawar actually now. We do software export from there, actually more on the product side rather than service side. And a lot of the talking points that you guys have were pain points that I'm facing as well, as, you know, training and everything. I've been sponsoring it all by myself, investing by myself. I would like to know what you guys are doing with it. It was amazing on paper, but I want to see what it is tactically. So perfect on that. One thing I did find a challenge right now is the female part. As Todd said earlier, they do a better job. I mean, that's hands down a fact right now. One challenge I'm having right now is there's not enough of the female population there that are involved in the IT sector, and there's sort of a stickiness factor to them. So if you don't have enough, they won't come through. You have to have multiple of them to be able to see their creativity and steadfastness shine in the company. Is there any specific initiative for them?
Yeah, thank you, Samim. And I would like to know where your company is based in KP, with 40 people there, and if we can give any of the support that we are extending to others. So, yeah, the Durshal project, we are going to offer. There's a significant 33% share specifically for women entrepreneurs. And the spaces that we have developed there is going to cater to all of the factors that were stopping them to come to a co-working space and to participate in a startup. So we hope that slowly and gradually, in a period of another 2 or 3 years, we are going to change that perception for women to go to work, and especially in the tech sector. Right now, a number of them are participating in the youth employment program where they can work from home, but that's not the only solution. We have to bring them to the work. So Durshal project and a few other initiatives is a part of it, including the early age programming that we mentioned. So we also had about 33 to 40% share for girls' schools to teaching them how to code. And the best performers were those young little girls. Who could code better than those boys, because they were somehow they are more creative. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Everton Thompson from earServe Connect, and I have to thank Fazia, one of my business partner and associate, for inviting me to such an informative forum. I've been in the call center industry for the last 30 years. I was one of the co-founder of Omega Direct Response and Connect One Management Group. Was responsible for putting one of the first call center in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, Grenada, and started that whole process in the Caribbean. I remember when we used to have satellites. That's how we used to get our calls out, with partnership with the government, due to the fact that Cable and Wireless had the monopoly on telecom, and then we've seen it change all over the years. To be totally honest, I remember working in India, in Khwa, just outside of Mumbai, with a company by the name of Zenta. We were responsible in getting our call center side over there. That was going back about 18 years ago. And had an opportunity to look at Pakistan. But there were just issues with security, connectivity, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really surprised and heart-warmed to see that you guys have come so far. I just got a couple of questions. In regards to your fiber connectivity, and your termination site and redundancy, because in the outsourcing sector and call center sector, you got to be connected 24/7, especially when you're doing inbound, outbound, and of course, webinar and all of those different type of services that's provided. And who are your major carriers in that section right now?
So that's improving as a part of the CPAC. The Chinese are investing in that backbone network. There are a lot of other companies who are coming in, including Nayatel, including a few other operators. One of the major carrier in this is the Pakistan Telecommunication Company Limited. So with time, we have that redundancy to different cities, and that's helping the businesses avoid that problem of disconnectivity. Thank you. Yeah, it has captive power plant, the one in Rashaki Special Economic Zone. It's going to be supplying only to that, and it's also in the great, the best interest of the those who are investing in the power plant, because they want that Special Economic Zone to be populated all over, so they can sell more electricity. It's not going to be sold out of that economic zone, so that's going to be taken care of. Yeah.
And in the economic zone, do they provide, I know you're saying that it's $48.
$48 is not in the economic zone. It's in within the city currently. It's the example that I cited there for the $48 a seat. It's out of the negotiation that this price came up with one of the operators who is starting the facility with 1,000 seats. So this is the price that we are to that operator. In some other cities might go a little further down, but in some other parts it might be up to $55.
Okay, so that's just only for infrastructure, not included like your LD or anything like that, right?
It includes BPO-ready facility with all of the electricity and utilities taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah, 5,000 rupees, which translates into about $48 a month per seat. That has a furnished space with electricity payment and all of the internet cost. And the training facilities that we provide, there are two kind of arrangements. All of the BPO operators have, they have a specific curriculum to train their employees based on the kind of service that they want to provide to the service to the industry. And then there is a baseline training program that they want everybody who apply to that. So we are helping on the baseline, and the specific curriculum is being trained and provided to by the BPO operator.
Okay, for your employees, I mean, I'm interested because I have facilities in Jamaica, and of course I do business in the Philippines also. I know in Jamaica, like for the staff and like for transportation, or the population for labor, is it close within these vicinities?
Yeah.
Or?
So the area where they're starting, it's in Hyderabad. It's in the provincial capital, and in the provincial capital, in 5 kilometers distance, there are 9 public and private sector universities. There's about 40,000 people living in that area, and some of the workforce may not come from that area, but we are providing that shuttle service to one of the terminals. There's a famous thing, a lot of Pakistanis would know about that BRT project. So there's a BRT terminal, so we are providing that shuttle service. So the essence is that we are trying to facilitate as much as we can in order to make sure that you get all of the best features for the BPO destination in Khyber Pakhtoon. And one of the things is that when I mentioned that we are providing that business facilitation services, is that you can speak to us. We can have customized, a package for you, and that can help your industry requirements.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salman. I'd like to thank Nadeem Hashmi for inviting me to such an informative session. It is indeed heartwarming to see such initiatives pursued with such aggressiveness in our beloved home province. I have a little bit of experience in setting up an outsourcing organization. We did it in Karachi in about 2002, 2004. My question is about the preparedness of the lead team, the leadership that has a little bit of experience in dealing with international projects, understanding business requirements and translating them to getting the workforce in delivering what is required. So we've heard about the training at the grassroots levels to get the workforce ready, but I'd like to know a little bit about the incentives for the middle management level, either training or in terms of incentives for them to move to Peshawar and the surrounding areas.
So you would want us to kind of incentivize for an operator to train some of his employees?
Well, one of the major issues that you run into in any outsourcing operation is that you have this client expecting a certain level of understanding, and you can't really get that unless you've delivered a few projects or worked in an industry at an international with some.
So if you have any curriculum that you would want us to train, so we can conduct that training on your behalf, so that would not cost you anything. We can conduct that under the Youth Employment Program, and we can hire our trainers do that for you. If you need 100 people, we can train 100 people for you, and then that's the kind of baseline training. Then you can upskill them according to any specific requirements. So if you need any language training, if you need any training, for example, if somebody if you need 100 people in AWS, so we can do that for you. But that's what I said, that you need to speak to us and share your requirements, and then we can package something that suits you. And
the good news is that the government and the IT board is being aggressive about attracting companies. The bad news is there are not a ton of companies already operating that are creating that kind of practical experience. You can train somebody, but you're asking about people that have already delivered to a sort of a Western standard or a European standard or those kind of initiatives. I agree that's important. I was a little worried about whether we'd be able to find that level of talent to be our trainers for the program we're using for our cohorts. But I've been very pleased with the quality of trainers that we've had that have learned very quickly, but they didn't have that experience going in as well. So I think I'd recommend, just from my experience, building some ramp-up time to build some of that experience. Everest research says there has been some finance and accounting outsource going on there. So there has been some BPO work being done in Peshawar. So there probably is some of that experience there that's delivered to a sort of domestic standard, to a Western standard. But there isn't a ton of it, which is good for prices. It means you're not going to have a lot of competition. All the best talent is still there, waiting to be trained up and selected, but there's probably some that have that industry experience, but it's not extensive because they're just entering into this space. Thank you.
And the operators that we spoke to and who are interested to come to KP, 50% of their workforce is also from KP, so, and they're in different levels, so they have that exposure, but it also depends on what industry your business is going to serve. Yeah, so it might be, yeah.
You are watching Toronto 360 TV. Please don't go away. We'll be back after this commercial, so stay tuned.
आप देख रहे हैं टोरंटो 360 टीवी
और हम वापस आते हैं कमर्शियल ब्रेक के बाद।
आप देख रहे हैं टोरंटो 360 टीवी। जाइएगा नहीं, हम ब्रेक के बाद वापस आते हैं।